Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Cam, man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vickers. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah, I don't like niggas. What's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Missouri, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code MACE, CAM, or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus funds with your first deposit and a free pick. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your host Cam. Mace will be back, and today we are joined with our analyst Maurice Clarett.
Mo, what's
Big
up,
Stat.
man? What's happening?
Everything all is well. Life is great, man. Life is great.
Yo, Stat birthday. Happy birthday, Stat.
Thank you.
Okay, happy birthday, Stat. There we go.
Thanks. Another year older, and it's actually starting to feel like it.
How old are you today?
24.
24.
Yeah.
24 years young.
Yeah. What would be you guys' like biggest thing of advice for my 24-year-old self? What would you guys tell me? I'm serious. I want knowledge.
So go ahead. I'll let Cam go. What is your advice?
It ain't even about your age. To me, the biggest advice I could give you is just know that you somebody out there now and pick and choose what you do wisely, man. Everybody's a target. See the Punisher, all type of shit popping out and puff, man. You gotta be picking and choosing who you fuck with, man. Just can't be fucking with anybody, any and everybody. You can't trust people, and it ain't even about your age, it's about your status right now. You just can't be around hanging out with everybody, telling people your business. Not saying you do. If you ask them for about advice, niggas will use it later against you. There's so many people out there right now because of the internet and podcasting, I'm talking not sports, but people take $1 to tell their story about somebody else because they was a leech or a side piece or entourage, and they feel that they didn't get what they deserve, and they'll sit there and talk about you later. So just pick and choose who you hang with and be around wisely. That's the advice I would give you.
That part. And Maurice.
Hey, I don't know how you follow up after that. As he would say, basically what Cam is saying, that's how you talk about me. Basically, what he's saying is these Negroes gonna be trying to fuck you because they see you on the internet all the time. So take care of yourself, Stat. That's what he's saying.
Not just niggas though. I'm talking about
Us
friends
too.
too. Yeah, friend girls too. Or, like I said, it ain't just about niggas. Definitely, Mo is 100% right. But girls too, they'll be jealous and they'll sit there and act like they helped you build your legacy and everything else. And later on, they'll be ready to talk about you, man. I can give you 100
Yeah.
examples. I just don't even want to give the people that opportunity that's trying to do shit to other people. I sit there all day and look at people that say, yo, if a nigga give me 100,000, I'll tell you everything about this nigga. And for real. So
The trial is letting you.
that ass.
Listen, Puffy trial should let everybody know how wicked is getting out here in these streets.
I'll be careful, man.
Shoot, I was looking for something maybe like positive, but that's real. That's
What you
real.
plan on doing for your birthday, Stat?
I'm going to Cabo.
Are you going to Cabo? Okay, there you go.
So nice little vacation. And yeah, I'm excited. But thank you guys.
I see. So you upgraded your camera, obviously, or your lighting or something. Okay, okay, there we go.
Get into the camera. I'm learning, y'all. I'm getting there.
There we go.
So yeah. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for the birthday wishes and thanks for the advice. Y'all know I take y'all's advice to heart because y'all always lead me the right way. So I appreciate that always. And I'm just in a good mood, good spirits. Yeah.
As
Feeling
he should be, Big Stat. There
yeah.
you go.
Okay, so let's get into this game. OKC beat the Timberwolves 118 to 103 to have a 2-0 lead in the series. Maurice, what went wrong for the Timberwolves? How'd you feel about this game?
Oh, from just my personal assessment, and I like to set the premise by saying I'm no basketball expert. I've never played in the NBA. I've never played college. But from my clear observation, and I don't know if I may be like everybody else where you see the intensity from the Pacers versus the Knicks, right? And you understand this is conference finals basketball. From the top of the game, I just didn't see the intensity from the Timberwolves, right? The first quarter was sort of mundane, both teams going back and forth. You're seeing what you expect out of both superstars. The second quarter was really like mundane and the same, but it never felt like the Timberwolves being on the road that they were trying to win the game. Like you just didn't see this fierceness. I don't know. It felt more of like a regular season game that OKC just had control of. That was just my personal opinion. And as the game got towards the third and fourth quarter, like you seen these spurts of intensity by Antman. Obviously, Julius Randle didn't or wasn't able to deliver the way that he did. And you can check the stat line and what he had. I just know he wasn't able to perform well. But it just didn't seem like from an energetic execution, intensity, sense of urgency standpoint that the Wolves came to play. Obviously, SGA showed you why he was the MVP in a magnificent game, in a big game. He stepped up and it felt like he was owning the moment. I know Ant-Man had 32 points, but those 32 points felt more like he just got him within the rhythm of the game and it wasn't like he was dominating. And after the game, I was talking to my guys. I was like, yo, it felt like I just didn't feel Ant-Man's 32 points throughout the game, right? They didn't feel dominant. They didn't feel like, I'm putting the team on my back. Like those last few possessions, like I was saying, he had done a great job of trying to take the game and chuck shots up. But I don't know. This is what I'll say. I'll end this by saying this. I don't see how the Timberwolves, after that performance in the first game, I don't see how they even have a chance of winning. I think that this is SGA's time. I think this is OKC's time. And I just think that they're going to be a hard team to beat. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, um, Julius, it's not going to happen with Julius Randle. One day, first game, Julius Randle has a great game. Second game, he has 6 points. It's not going to work like that. The first game, Ant-Man doesn't play that well. Ant-Man plays well the second game, and Julius Randle's not going to have. When you're in this far, when you're in this deep in the playoffs, your 1-2 punch matters. When your team is based off a 1-2 punch, and one day somebody's doing good, the next game the person isn't, and right, to the next game, the same scenario. So that's not going to work. That's first and foremost. And right now, it just looks like OKC is, I don't want to say the best because the Pacers look good, the Knicks didn't look bad at all either, but the most cohesive team right now. These guys been together the last year, 2 years, and it's actually showing. When Shea won that MVP yesterday, you fuck with you. The way that you get your team to fuck with you is doing shit he did, buying niggas Rolexes so they could get out there and want to motherfucking play basketball for you and want to bust niggas ass. Like if this what we get, and if we win and this nigga's that nigga, then yeah, this is what I want. It's kind of like I don't remember if you guys remember. Pardon me, not I don't remember. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Cam Ward bought in college, he bought his whole team
Yeah.
chains.
Thanks. Yep.
That matters. That matters. That boosts corral and morale. Pardon me, it boosts morale for your team, and people want to play, and they like, oh, this is all the extra shit. This is my nigga right here. So even when I see Cam Ward do that, I'm like, he young and he get it. And Shea's not saying Shea is old, but he's not in college, but he gets it. It matters when the people around you feel good, they feel like they look good, and they want to go play good, so the shit could come on, keep going. I have this argument with Sin all the time. I know we talk about me and Sin's argument, but the whole point is he be feeling like he be asking me, and I'll be like, I'm the wrong person to ask because he feels like, and this is a little bit off the game, that once niggas get money, they get relaxed. And I'm like, certain people are like that. I'm not disagreeing, but don't ask me that because I want more. You got to think about this. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is about to be up for $76 million a year on the Supermax. 76 million, this is unprecedented. A year. We put that into perspective when we sit there and say Michael Jordan only made $111 million his whole basketball career. Not talking about endorsements outside of basketball. I'm talking about his paycheck in between the lines. Shea gonna pass that in a season and a half.
Crazy.
So when you see what's going on with OKC and they could keep that team together, it'll eventually probably put them in the luxury tax, especially if they get to the championship or especially win it. But it matters. Golden State was in the luxury tax for like 4 or 5 years, but they would win. So it didn't matter about paying they didn't put mind, the owners didn't mind paying the luxury tax. And OKC just looks really good right now. Shea another 30-piece last night. Jay Will showed up. Caruso's just been a problem off the bench, not even necessarily scoring. He only had 9 points, but just him being on the floor, whether it's defensive,
Defense.
and whether it's him getting the ball to where it needs to be. Look, OKC looks really good, and they look like the most dominant team at the present moment. We still got a lot of basketball left to play, but I'd be lying if I told you that I'm not disappointed in Minnesota. What it looks like to me, and this is what's going, and this is my opinion, and I'm not saying that this will happen, but because they're both young enough. If OKC dominates this series, we'll see what happens when Minnesota goes back home. We're not going to I'm not just going to write them off just yet. But when you go back home and you don't look good, or maybe you win by 2 or 3 and then OKC comes and dominates you. And let's just say, for instance, OKC goes on to win this championship. Like I said, we still got a lot of basketball left, and the way that Indiana looked at the end of the game in the Eastern Conference Finals, they look really good. Can't count the Knicks out. They were up with less than a minute left. They just fumbled, didn't miss. They basically dropped the ball, missing free throws, turnovers, little shit. So they was in it to win it. But if OKC ends up winning this, to me, Antman, you could sit here and say he's the old man killer. You got LeBron out, got KD out, whatever you want. You're not rattling Shea. You can see it during the game. You try to throw him on the floor. You try to step over him. None of that rattles him. He walks away and he goes to the next play. He looks like he can't be rattled. And that's a problem. I used to hate them niggas when I played basketball. All professional. You try and get them riled up. Little elbow here, talk shit to them about their girl, their mom, whatever, and they just ignore you and go out there and get the numbers they're supposed to get. So as much as we talk about Antman beat this person, beat that person, it looked like the person that's really in your way is SGA. And what you don't want this to be is a Patrick Mahomes and Anthony Edwards, you fuck around and be Josh Allen. That'll be a problem, As much as Josh Allen won MVP last year, but he still can't get over the hump of beating Patrick Mahomes. Don't let this go on 4 or 5 years. And the way it's looking, if OKC wins, like I told yesterday, Stat asked us a question: who has the best chance to repeat out of who wins the championship? And I think it will be OKC, especially if they get, you got to think about this. Say if they win this series, he's going to get the Western Conference playoff MVP. And then if he wins the championship, he'll get the finals MVP, and then you got a league MVP. So, message to Antman, don't be Josh Allen. As much as I fuck with Josh Allen, that's my nigga, I fuck with Josh Allen. But if you can't be Patrick Mahomes, you just can't be Patrick Mahomes. That's just what it is. So, Antman, you got another, if this Mortal Kombat you at the end, you got to fight that nigga with the 5, 6, 7 arms and all that shit. Win the champion, be the champion. So that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, that's actually a great comparison. I have a question for the both of you. So, Maurice, I know you were saying the Timberwolves look kind of stagnant, and I know, Cam, you were saying you don't want to count them out yet, but when do you guys count the Timberwolves out? Is it this next game? If they don't win it, it's just like, boom, it's done? How are we feeling? Maurice?
No, I've already counted the Timberwolves out, and I'm gonna go back to 2 episodes, and I talked about Jimmy Butler, and I talk about mentality all the time. If you tune into the show that I'm doing, you will hear me talk about mentality all of the time. And I've seen Antman's face, and Antman is a pivotal part inside of the Timberwolves' success. Cam sat here and said it. You need your dynamic duo to show up, right? There is a time in sports, there's a time in business, there's a time in life when you can just look at somebody's face and they realize, just like Cam said, I've beat all these old dogs. I've beat KD, I've beat Stephen Curry, I've beat LeBron James. I've won my crown doing that, right? But now I have this person across from me that I just basically don't know how to handle. And when I looked at Ant-Man's face, and Ant-Man went out there and had a phenomenal game, right? But as Cam made the comparison to Joe Burrows, not Joe Burrows, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, for the special people is something else. It's that little bit of, I don't know what it is, but it's something that those elite guys have that other guys don't. So I believe Ant-Man plays well, but I don't believe those guys as a team have enough. You're down 2-0, you go home, you have somebody playing well, you have somebody playing with a lot of momentum, you have somebody in this small town in OKC believing in it, somebody who wants to be the face of the league, somebody who wants all of these things, these great things to happen in life. And I just believe that I'm counting them out and that OKC will go and sweep them.
And yeah, the exact question stat was,
Yeah, when do you start to count the Timberwolves out? Or because you said you haven't yet.
yeah, if they lose the next game, nobody ever came back from 3-0. So it's, to me, it's based upon the next game. Do I think right now the way OKC is looking, they're gonna win the series? Yeah, but I don't want to just write niggas off to where they're not gonna win a game. Last year they only, I mean, I know it's a different team with trades and caddies and things, etc. But that last year they only won one game in the Western Conference Finals when they played Dallas. But when you're asking when I'm gonna write them off, they lose the next game. It's not history says they're written off. But we'll see what happens next game because even if they win, it depends on how they win. So I'll wait till next game before I get them out of here. I'm not going to say they'll get swept or anything else because shit, at the end of the day, Denver took them 7. You know what I'm saying? And if to say Minnesota can't get a game, I'm not going to do that. I'm not saying Mo is wrong, but I'm just saying I'm personally not going to just say, damn, you're going to get swept because we talk about the superstars and of the league and people, we've been talking about this, who's the face of the league and this, that, and the third the last couple days or mentioned it the last couple weeks. And if Ant-Man gets swept, then I don't think that's a conversation. My personal opinion, as good as he is, athletic, dynamic plays, so on and so forth, I don't even really think we have the conversation of who's the face of the league at the moment. It should be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander if he sweeps Ant-Man. Secondly, being that we talk about face of the league and so on and so forth, just real quick, I want to tap in because as much praise as we give in Jalen Brunson, Antman, and SGA, the shit that Tyrese Halliburton is doing is just amazing. It's crazy, and niggas still don't give him his credit. I was watching a few different shows yesterday, and some people still refuse just to give this nigga his credit. Like, yo, it was all right, but he ain't do this, or he's still not that. And I'm like, bro, it's something that I had Googled earlier, and not Googled, a stat that was sent to me. I don't have it in front of me. I'll just looking for it. But to make a long story short, in each series, he has mounted a comeback in less than 2 minutes. Every series, and he's the one hitting the shot. So the first round, I can't remember who they playing in the first round. But I think they was down like 7 points with less than a minute left. And they make a comeback, and he's the one who hits the game-winning jump shot. Then last round, they play Cleveland. He's at the foul line. They're down 2 points. He makes the first one, misses the second one, gets his own rebound, goes behind the 3 and hits the 3 to beat the Cavs. Milwaukee the first round. He did that too, pardon me. Then they do it to the Cavs. And then you sit there and do what they did last night to the Knicks was just amazing. Now, we're not going to act like Neesmith wasn't the one who spearheaded what happened the night before last with the Knicks. But after he got everything going, Neesmith, he deserves the most credit for that game. Tyrese Halliburton came in and finished the job and was very confident about it. Think about this. He went to take a two. He ran to the three-point line with his back to the basket, spun around, and shot a jump shot. Thought he won the game. I thought he won the game. Didn't win the game, send the overtime, and not just send the overtime, the Pacers come out and win. We got to stop playing with Tyrese Halliburton's name, bro. So we still talking this Antman shit. He hasn't won a game yet in the Western Conference Finals. Tyrese Halliburton is up 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's time to start mentioning him. I don't know about face of the league and all that other shit, but we need to keep him in, because he don't have 35 or 40. It's not needed on that team. Maybe he could score 35 or 40 if it's needed. This is not a team that needs that. So, free his father. Let that nigga come back to the games.
But that was it.
You know what I'm saying? Free the nigga. Cause, he earned. Because at the end of the day, look, when you play good, you get special treatment. Pause. When you play good, shit, you get special treatment, my nigga. It's just like that. If he wasn't playing good, indefinitely.
Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah. So you get special treatment. Free the nigga. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the shit that Tyrese Halliburton is done, he can at least come back to home games, minimal.
Yeah.
I agree with that, because even though, I think I can't be like he learned his lesson, but at this point, I can't watch what's going on. I would want to be able to be present for that. I don't think he's going to try to swing, fight, go up to any other players on the court. I think he's good. I just think that this is a big moment that he should be in attendance for.
Well,
so,
listen,
yeah.
let me, I that's why I said free him, but see, certain things, and I'm not saying don't do what he did, but certain things, when you on the radar and people are watching, you got to chill. They had the nigga in the bar doing the choke sign when Tyrese Halliburton made the shot. Now he in the bar running around the bar like this. Niggas like, see, we don't know if we can let this nigga back in the building. We don't know what his temperature is. This nigga's wilding in a random bar in Indianapolis. So I say free him. But Pops, they watching you. This may be some of the shit that you can't do if you're trying to get back in the building.
The rules are just too strict for everybody. I don't know. That's my opinion, though. So we will see what happens. Even though we are waiting for Game 3 for OKC versus Minnesota, let's get to Game 2 really quick for Knicks versus Pacers, because Underdog got some picks for y'all. So Andrew Nembhard is at 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Maurice?
Lower.
Hey, Cam.
Pacers are so well rounded, man. I think I'm gonna give him higher for all three.
Okay. Halliburton is at 9.5 assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Lower.
I'm gonna go lower as well.
Okay, and Josh Hart, he's at 22.5 points and rebounds. Do you have him higher or lower, Maurice?
Points and rebounds.
Right.
I'll go higher.
These are really hard joints to unpause that Underdog sent out. I'm gonna go lower.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So changing gears real quick to football. So the NFL has approved for NFL players to compete in flag football for the Olympics. Tyreek Hill shared an emoji implying that he wants to suit up. Maurice, how interested are you in this concept and opportunity for NFL players to be able to do this?
I think it's the fact that it's never been done before, and the fact that it's the Olympics, and the fact I think that anybody who's ever played sports before has always watched Olympic ceremonies and probably have envisioned themselves being a part of it. And everybody wants to do like historical and legendary things. You go through life and you make millions of dollars, and you've played in Super Bowls or played in championship games and elite professional moments like the the Olympics is kind of like the pinnacle or the epitome of you representing your country and honoring your country from a sporting standpoint. So I'm interested in it. I'm going to watch it because I'm very interested to see if football will be as lopsided as basketball used to be. Don't really care about for the Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill reunion, but I care more about just seeing how other countries compete against the USA in flag football because there's other people who play rugby and other things like flag football or football in general. And just I would like to see how that translates.
I don't know. I got mixed emotions about this, to be totally honest with you. Because football is hurting niggas, pause, and tackling. And niggas getting hit. I don't know if I want to just, I could go watch some 11-year-olds do that shit. You know what I'm saying? For real, like, look, it's fun to watch. Don't get it fucked up. But for Olympic sport to get a gold medal for it, I don't know. This the shit they do now in the Pro Bowl, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? I don't know if that deserves Olympic medals for that shit. That's what I'm saying. I like watching the Pro Bowl. I think it's very entertaining and everything else. Olympic medals, gold, silver, bronze, I don't know, bro. They just trying to incorporate football to me nationally, internationally, and make people love it and get familiar with the stars because football is the biggest sport in America. But we're trying to, what Roger Goodell do is trying to turn it into an international sport because football isn't everywhere. But I don't know if you get the full emotion of what football is if it's flag football. Now, why isn't it
That's
full
correct.
contact foot? Right. And now, why isn't it full contact football? Because niggas' real money is in September, in September through January or February if you make it to the Super Bowl. So you can't play real football. You see what happened that time? Motherfucking Paul George, leg snapped in half. Niggas just started walking off the court like, nah, my contract is coming up next year. I ain't got time for the Olympics. Niggas just started dropping off the Olympic team. Nah, I'm good. I ain't going this year. I got to get this money. Because as great as it is to have a gold medal, it's not where your money's at. So, like I said, I have mixed emotions. Do I like watching the Pro Bowl flag football? Cool. Do I think it'll be entertaining to watch? Cool, but I don't know if this merits gold, silver, and bronze medals. So that's how I feel about it. I'm just, I would like to watch it, but I don't think it. I think it should be a halftime show type vibe. I don't think niggas should be giving out medals for the shit because it ain't the real thing.
So that's like a good conversation. Yeah, because then again, like how else can NFL players be awarded on a bigger stage? Because I know they probably want the opportunity to be able to represent their country. And yeah, they have their games in season, but also the risk of them doing, contact football during the Olympics is also another thing. So like what do you guys think could be in place of that? Like what can they do? Or do you feel like that is quite literally the only thing they could do, the flag football games?
I didn't have that perspective until he just said it, but it is a good perspective because it's technically not football is not the real thing. But I think I was hearing football and thinking that you can have a gold medal and I'm just associated to, but it's not the real thing. So I'm not sure if there's anything else that you can duplicate. There's nothing, there's no other league. There's nothing that you can duplicate shoulder pads and helmets and, people running at each other full speed and the contact from it. That's the epitome of what it is. And so
Right.
I'm not sure if there's anything from it, but that was a good take.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know I don't know what you can replace. Look, you can't replace football with nothing. It's not football, especially when it's not contact. And listen, I know we sit there today's NFL. If a nigga, you get a penalty and fine for everything. This is not when niggas was knocking niggas' heads off or anything else, but niggas still get hurt. Niggas still get injured, so on and so forth. So I don't know what you could duplicate it with, but I understand that they like, yo, we want to be in the Olympics too. How come we can't be in the Olympics? Yada, yada, yada. Because they football players. And look, I think this is the best they could do, but it's not going to be the real thing because when niggas be playing flag football, like when I watch that Pro Bowl shit, niggas be smiling and shit. Like niggas be like, oh yeah, you caught me out. Like it's friendly. Football's not a
Yeah,
friendly
friendly.
sport. You know what I'm saying? These niggas be happy as shit when I be watching the Pro Bowl now with the flag football. Nobody's really getting hurt. And I'm like I said, I'm not promoting niggas get hurt, but it's just part of the game. So if you sitting there keep laughing and smiling and all this shit, I can't see that you taking it serious. Now, will niggas be more serious because they country's on the line? Maybe so, because you're representing the country and you like, Odell, we can't let Canada, we can't let Serbia, we can't let Shanghai, whatever, beat us in our own sport. But it's not just sport. What you doing? Like, it's
You know
nothing,
what I'm
nothing
interested
that
to
can
see?
replace football, man. I'm listening,
What,
Mo.
what, what, no, what will be interesting to see, like as you see these new TV deals get signed, we should keep track of like all of the activity from the NFL that takes place internationally. And so this
Right.
is just a big commercial. You know, when he was talking about introducing it as an international sport, I'll be interested to see like what efforts do they take with, you know, they obviously they're playing more games overseas and different audiences, but I wonder to the communities who don't have padded football, or the NFL start to introduce 7-on-7 leagues that they can basically, you know, run and govern. But I think that's more or less what this is, as I heard you talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Look, if Roger Goodell would be able to figure out flight schedules and everything else, it would be a team in London right now. It would be a team on Amsterdam probably right now. But
Correct.
it's just the problem is it's too long of flights. It's too big of a difference. They've been playing them 3, 4 games over in London the last 5, 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to turn it international. But if they could do it, they would have done it already. NBA too, I really believe that. It's just that it's not going to make sense. You got to think about this. If we think about the East Coast is 6 hours behind London. The West Coast is 9 hours behind London. It'd be different days and different times. Like right now, it's 8 in the morning. It's already fucking 2, 3 in the afternoon over there. So if they could do it, they would have did. And I think they keep testing to see how they could get it done.
Correct.
Not just the NFL, the NBA as well.
Yeah. I do think they're headed in the right direction though, because you got to start somewhere. Because yeah, London was like the big name, but now they have Berlin, now they have Brazil, and like because football does have more of American fan base, American fans are complaining because they're like, I don't really want to wake up at 5, 6 a.m. to watch a Jags game. Meanwhile, if it was soccer, on the other hand, people don't care what time the game is; they're going to tune in to watch it. So I think just by putting them at that Olympic stage, even though it is flag football, and it's kind of like, man, I'm trying to see something else. Because you are right, Pro Bowl, it is very friendly, but also they're in a resort, typically in Orlando. They're on vacation, their families are there, they're chilling. I think that this competitive nature would bring out some more fans and kind of a different angle that might actually end up having more upside than we think. We just wouldn't know until 2028 when the Olympics happen in LA. So,
I'm not
but
saying it ain't an upside. I'm not
yeah,
disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I know it ain't the real thing.
yeah,
Me personally.
Zane is throwing it off. I get that though. And then real quick, Maurice, on your point, you said you actually aren't interested in seeing a Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes reunion. And then for those of you who are watching, it's just obviously with Mahomes being arguably the best quarterback right now. I don't even think there's much argument for that. He would represent USA as a quarterback. Maurice, you don't want to see that reunion?
No, I don't really care for it too much. I told you I didn't like when he left Kansas City, and I keep on. And this just goes to something totally different, where sometimes the only value that people see in a relationship is the money, and if the money isn't right, then they don't just see all the other value. And I thought that if he stayed in Kansas City, that there was just so much upside with him being a champion and just the things that he could have probably did, you know, after the game of football. And I think there's a little you know, you ran and you got paid. But I think there's a part of him that wishes he was back in that spotlight. And I think this is like him trying to capture it. And sometimes you just miss a moment, you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't want to relive certain moments. And so my comments were more loaded from that perspective, where more or less an opportunity just to teach people a lesson that sometimes money isn't the only value that you have in certain scenarios. So that has some history to it.
Okay, well, now what's going on with Bill Belichick? We will discuss after the break.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free. She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free.
Welcome back. So, Bill Belichick, we know we've seen a lot of headlines about his 24-year-old girlfriend versus his coaching job. Maurice, how much do you think all of this is affecting his legacy, or do you think it doesn't affect anything at all?
I don't think it'll affect anything long term because what they did in New England was so legendary. With all the championships, the championship run, I think him and Tom Brady will forever be tied at the hip with, just all their success. But you just don't like to see at this moment in your life to have like all of this distracting noise. And it seems like the latest headlines that he's talked about have more to do with his younger girlfriend than him, sort of doing the things that he wanted to do down at North Carolina. And in this game, this day and age, people are always talking about limiting the variables and limiting the distractions. And homegirl happens to be like a huge distraction and a huge news taker at this moment. So, in regards to his legacy, I'm not sure that it will do much. But I can see people, the board of trustees, and the local Carolina community who's probably invested in him. They want players, they want victories, and if they keep on hearing more about his girlfriend, I can see people being put in awkward spaces and say, "Hey, man, we didn't bring him here for all that shit. Like, let's figure out how to unwind and unravel the situation if she continues to be the topic of conversation." But I don't see Bill Belichick giving up that young girl and what she may be offering him anytime soon.
And the exact question is, what's that? Just I answer correctly?
Yeah, how much do you think this affects his legacy, or do you think it doesn't affect anything for him at all? Just his relationship with her.
I want to ask more question real quick for him. So, what do you mean when she got to offer him? What she got to
I
offer
thought, yeah,
him? What did she exactly have to offer
he got my man Bill got him a young slider, right? So
That's what I was saying.
yeah, he has someone he can use his pink horsepower on,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Listen, man. Look, it go. You know why it's so weird? Is this? Is that with Bill Belichick? Is because for however long been, we know he was defensive coordinator. I'm talking about he's been in the NFL a long time. I'm talking about as far as we know him for being the coach of the New England Patriots. He seems very cold, very callous. He does his interviews when after post game, pre game, preseason, after the season. You ask him questions. He's very short. What happened tonight? We lost. What was wrong with the team? We got to do better. Those are his answers. He's been this way for 20 years. He gets rid of key players when they're still decent. Get rid of Wes Welker. Tom Brady has the most touchdowns ever with Randy Moss. You get rid of Randy Moss. It seems like he's been really cold and saying, I want to do things my way, and my way works. So shut the fuck up and do things my way, to the point where you break up with Tom Brady. You know, it wasn't like the Patriots was these niggas always are in it, whether they in it or not in it. Pause. Always, to the point where Robert Kraft, they probably was gonna. If Robert Kraft wasn't there, they probably would have broke up. You know, 2, 3, maybe 4 years before that. I think Robert Kraft held the relationship together, especially when the nigga Bill Belichick wanted to replace Tom Brady with Jimmy Garoppolo. And niggas was like, yo, Tom Brady said, yo, your man, he want to talk to Robert Kraft. Your man wilding. I was out 5, 6 games, my nigga. Now he want to replace me with this nigga. And Bill Belichick's attitude probably was, nigga, do you forget that Drew Bledsoe was our quarterback and I replaced you with him and made you into that nigga? I know when to replace niggas. Tom Brady like, oh, it's too late. I don't want Super Bowls and all that. Yo, Grob, what you gonna do? Because your man is wilding. And I believe Robert Kraft mended that relationship as long as he can mend it. And it just didn't last anymore. Then you go to the next phase, right? Everybody that year, who's gonna be better? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Tom Brady went out and won the Super Bowl. So now it look like Bill Belichick, you wowed out. You bugging. Then on top of that, he didn't have good teams after that. So Robert Kraft had to tell him, yo, let's do this amicably. Pardon me, Stat, if I'm not pronouncing that right. But at the end of the day,
That's right. Yeah.
I'm in pronunciation school over here at this show, man. So,
Hi.
so
Hi.
yeah, Fender. I won that.
Not another winner.
I won that one. Internet said I won. I'm just telling you, man, that we went through the comments to say, let me see. They had some niggas was on your side. Now it was a good debate. I won like, it was like 65-35 for Hyena.
Argue.
Anyway, to where they split up and everything worked out, but it looked like Tom Brady got the rest. Now, cool, fast forward, we see Bill Belichick has a personality. We see him on Peyton and Eli's show. And we're like, oh, this nigga, man, he's kind of cool. Now it went from cool to him looking like a simp in some niggas' eyes. Like, yo, Bill, well, hold on now. We want the New England Patriot nigga down here and see who is this nigga that's letting this bitch run everything. And this boils down to this, my personal opinion. I have no knowledge of this. But it's kind of what Mo said without saying it. When he said when she got the offer, you don't know what Bill Belichick fetishes is. He might like his feet tickled. You know what I'm saying? He might like his underarms licked. He might like sitting in a high chair when it's time to eat. Nigga, oh, you know what I'm saying? He might want to put on a pamper and play like a baby. You don't know she feeding all that. For her to be running around, look, I got information and I can't tell you where it's from. But niggas around Bill, and Bill they's like, yo, his girl was running everything, man. The girl, yo, she was on the scene, she was doing this, because we all seen the clip. But I'm privy to other information to where they was like, yo, she was just doing this and doing that, and she was telling us what to do and do. And I'm like, that's wild. Now it's just getting to the point where Bill ain't getting the shit under control, and his job's on the line. You got to nip this in the bud like, yo, all right, enough's enough. You got to chill the fuck out, because now you're playing with the paper and the potential job opportunity. Because at the end of the day, if you think Bill really want to go to North Carolina, then, yo, everybody's wild. You know that nigga want to go back to the NFL. But niggas was like, yo, you might add your time, Bill. You 72, 73. We need new energy over here. And we don't like the way you did Tom Brady. Some players notice all that. They like, he ain't got time for that. If he did that to Tom Brady, what are you going to do to me? Bill got to nip that shit in the bud. To answer the question, I just wanted to give a background. Is it messing his legacy up? I don't know. That's a great question. I can't say yes or no because people will only see you for your faults. You have 2, 3 faults and then or losses, but you got 200 wins, and they be like, nah, remember you got knocked out though? If just boxing, right? You'll sit there and have a nigga with 52 wins and 3 losses, and they be like, nah, that time he got knocked out was crazy. So I don't know if it messes legacy up, but people tend to remember the worst times better than your best times.
So let me ask y'all this then. Do you view this situation as like a midlife crisis for him, or what? What do we think, Maurice?
I mean, he spent a ton of years being super disciplined, super organized, and super sacrifice, and in the super sacrifice mode. And now he just in a mode where he like, yo, I got to get my feel goods. That's all this is. And it's just playing out in front of everybody's face. And, I'm 70 odd years old. I didn't gave my public service was, bringing y'all the best football that y'all can possibly watch. But at the end of the day, he's still 70. He like, I could have probably got this off when I was 20 or 30 years younger had I had the time to and the focus on it. So that's what's actually going on right now. And it is a midlife crisis, and we're just watching it out. Just like we're watching other things and other people's sexual fetishes out that we never knew existed. But you're just watching Bill Belichick's.
I don't know if it's midlife, it's three-quarter life crisis.
And it's almost over.
Yeah, 3/4. It's just the truth,
He
yo.
said the check engine light on.
It's the three-quarter life crisis, man. And he probably, you know why? Because Mo is right. He probably missed the midlife crisis because he's dedicating his life to football. He's like, I'm gonna catch the three-quarter joint. The three-quarter life crisis right now. So yeah, Mo's right. I'll just call it the three-quarter life process, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll just add, at least he's happy because nothing is in jeopardy yet. Still has his job. He's happy. That's all that matters. Me personally, because I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, damn, I am 24. 72-year-old man is crazy. I can't even fathom that. Like, I don't understand. But some people just really care about money to that extent. And I'm not gonna say that that's what I don't know. I don't know, Shawty. That's what they want. They chose each other. They can figure it out. I don't know. That's beyond me. Okay. So there is now a new sports festival in Vegas that will let athletes use performance-enhancing drugs. Athletes will compete for up to $500,000 in purses per event, with bonuses starting at $250,000 for those who break records. It will feature swimming, track and field, and weightlifting. Maurice, do you think this concept of athletes using, PEDs should be more mainstream? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do we think?
Oh, this is just a spectacle. You have people who do use them and they cheat and out. They operate outside the rules. But if these niggas using drugs, I don't want to see them swim. If a nigga gonna be like, hey man, we using steroids and all this shit that make you extra aggressive, I want to see niggas box and fight and just do some like more serious shit. I ain't trying to watch a nigga bike or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I took some steroids and a nigga want to bike. You know what I'm saying? Or a nigga want to jog. Like, nah, like I want like y'all ever see that shit on Instagram where them Samoan niggas be running into each other?
Yeah.
And it'd be like these big ass Samoan niggas just running full speed into each other. That's the shit I want to see. Like, okay, I'm saying football is football, and that's what niggas want to see.
Mhm.
I want to see niggas bare knuckle, kumite, old school fight. Like, that's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? But we know all these niggas cheat, and that's what they own. So it's fair because everybody on the same shit. And we just in a society where you can just see some barbaric shit. You know what I mean? So I don't really care if that's what they choose to do, but I definitely don't want to see niggas swim. Like I don't care to see anybody swim. It's not entertaining to me.
Yo, it's crazy niggas is treating these niggas like the Kentucky Derby and shooting niggas up, man. Treating niggas like horses is wild pause. Yo, shoot the niggas up. See what they can, how fast they can bike and swim. Like, yo, that's what they do with horse races, yo. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you shooting niggas up like horses now? Pause. Just, somebody going to jail. I'm telling you that right now. Somebody going to jail. Somebody die out there from the wrong mix. Somebody's going to jail. Balco and all this. Everybody's. You know what the line is right now for probably telling niggas, I got this shit, nigga. I'm telling you that right now, nigga. If you take this shit, niggas is home in the kitchen right now cooking. It ain't even gonna be the legal. You got Balco and all that type shit. I don't know the new shit. I'm just remember Balco. But at the end of the day, niggas is gonna be home like, yo, listen, this shit right here. You want to go 200 miles per hour on that bike, nigga? Take this. You want to swim your ass? You want to be a fish, nigga? Take this. Somebody getting in trouble behind this. I'm telling you this right now. Don't say I didn't tell you. Somebody going to jail, somebody going to court. The mixture of shit that's about to happen, now it's crazy. Then when somebody tests positive for cocaine, they can be like, oh, I can take this, but I can't take cocaine. I didn't know cocaine wasn't included. This is a mess. This is a mess. I'm telling you now, this is not going to end good.
So I know you're saying it's a mess, and I know you have very good reason to be skeptical because you can't really control what goes on, but would you watch?
Like most, I'm be honest with you. Not the swimming, not none of that. I'm going to keep an eye on the shit to see when niggas get in trouble. But why would I want to see a nigga? I don't watch the shit now. Like, I'm not watching a bike race. And then, to be honest with you, niggas don't really watch swimming until it's the Olympics, and then it got to be somebody like Michael Phelps. Like, yo, last time I watched swimming, it was Michael Phelps, because everybody talking about, yo, Michael Phelps. Nigga name was ringing in the street. So nigga like, let me tune in. Let me see what this Phelps nigga is about. I don't know the last swimmer since Michael Phelps. Who's the last swimmer for America since Michael Phelps? Man or woman? We don't know. So no, I'm not watching. I'll probably watch some highlights like, oh shit, look how fast that nigga going. That's wild. But these aren't the sports that you really want to watch. But still, I have to agree with Mo on that.
Oh gosh. Well, shout out to those who are competing. I think it'd be interesting, specifically like the weightlifting category. Like, I just can't imagine how that would go if everybody's yoked up. So it would be interesting to watch. But that is all the time that we have for today. Maurice, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good seeing you, Mo.
Yeah.
See you next week, man.
Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs. Like when they doing them 2 for $5.